All right, let's get into this one.
Let's lighten it up a bit.
2017. This should be a lot less contentious.
I'm not mad.
Yeah, I know.
You know what? You know what, guys? I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Oh, that's even worse.
That's worse, dude.
What were you disappointed about? We
I gave it a 10.
Our ratings pushed it into that category that we,
I know.
we say
Except for Ray. Ray's got a pass.
If we had a certified fresh, that's what it would be certified as, but we don't.
Yeah, fuck Rotten Tomatoes.
All right, 2017. Dave made a maze. Summary for this film. The title.
No, I didn't.
You did. You should have tried. It looked like a lot of fun. The title character of Dave Made a Maze is a guy who loves making things. He's also a guy who can't finish things. When the one project he finally manages to make progress on swallows him whole, his loved ones go on an adventure to try and pull him out. Directed by Bill Watterson, not the Calvin and Hobbes guy. That's what I thought. If you thought it was the Calvin and Hobbes guy like me, we're on the same page. This guy is just basically an actor, I think. Written by Bill Watterson and Stephen Sears. They both, weird note on their credits, they both provided voices for that game LA Noire. Have you ever?
That game's awesome.
I'm assuming that's where they met. If not, that's just the narrative I'm building for their relationship.
I bet
You're building a narrative for their relationship.
Yeah, that's how they met. Jason, do you have any information?
Tagline: he thought of everything but a way out. Distributed by Gravitas Ventures, out on Blu-ray through them in 2017, and also it's a region 2, but Arrow put this out in 2019.
Very, very, very cool. The movie shows you how you can do something visually and have a script. Guys, that's what I was saying. It's got like really good dialogue and really good story. That's just as good.
You're gonna mess up
as good. What am I gonna mess up?
You're gonna mess up the feeling of this one too.
Oh no!
keep taking jabs at the Mad Guy.
I do think it's a good comparison, but because they both do the artistic part of it really well.
Actually, it was a great double feature.
Yeah.
I
was gonna say that I gotta give props to myself here. I'm gonna toot my own.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Jason.
This is your pick.
Mad God.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna start thinking. I'm gonna let someone else pick first. I'm gonna try to think of a good double feature.
That's a good one.
Very good one.
That's cool.
Like great cast in this movie. Nick Thune, if you're not familiar with him, he's just a great stand-up. He plays Dave in this. I recommend his album Thick Noon if you can find it. Check that out. Adam Bush is great in this too. I've never seen him in anything. He plays Dave's best friend. But he is evidently from the Mystery Files of Shelby Woo, whatever the fuck that is, and Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where he played Warren Mears for 16 episodes. Any Buffy fans? I don't know.
So he doesn't have a career. Okay.
Yeah. He was in a lot of stuff, but I didn't recognize any of them. Those are the things I kind of have heard of. I heard of Mystery Files.
Where's that beard at?
I actually have that written down, John.
Which is weird because I'd never seen him without a beard, honestly, in real life. Like, bizarre. James Urbaniak plays Harry the Documentarian.
Yeah.
If you don't know him, he's Dr. Venture on the Venture Brothers. He also plays Robert Crumb on American Splendor, and he's in a lot of other shit. I recommend his Funny or Die sketch, Human Centipede Anonymous. You can take from that what you will.
I'm happy to say that my nightmares have become a little more manageable.
Steve, why don't you sit down and shut your fucking mouth? You motherfucker! You shut the fuck up!
Hey, guys! Now, we talked about this hostility towards Steve last week. All 3 of you were captured by that crazy Austrian doctor, right?
I lost a year of my life, too.
Oh, you had it real bad in the front, didn't you, Steve? Yeah, need I remind you, Steve, that every meal I ate for a year was your poo-poo. And every time I took a poo-poo, it was into Rob's toilet mouth! Steve, the only way you'll know what we went through is if you, right now, eat a little bit of John's poop. John, please poop into a cup.
Yeah.
Also, you may recognize Stephanie Allen.
Talk about a Friday night.
You may recognize Stephanie Allen, who plays Bryn. She is in the television show One Mississippi. She's also in the sketch group Wild Horses with Lauren Lapkus, and she's married to Tig Notaro. So,
Wow.
yeah, may know her. And the guy that plays the Minotaur is a professional wrestler that some of you may know, named John Morrison. Has anyone heard of John Morrison?
Oh, so his chest was real?
Yeah,
In
he's
the
a real.
end?
Yeah, he's a real.
man.
He was a real
I thought that was
absolute unit.
I thought that was prosthetic.
Yeah, but I just think this cast works really well. They bounce off of each other. They've clearly all like worked in improv and shit and know how to make these scenes work out really well. The maze itself reminds me of this place in Columbus that what's it called? Otherworld. Have you been there, Ray?
Outworld? Was it Outworld?
Otherworld.
Or Otherworld? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been there.
Yeah, it's just like a big, you could walk around there all day, but it would be a great place for a horror movie. There's just like weird art installations you walk through and shit.
Okay.
Just really trippy. You know, and I had said before, I'm not a big fan of puppets, but more so than Muppets. I thought that the puppet scenario in this worked out really well. It was like they were every room was like a dimension, you know, like a new reality. Properties were different. And evidently these rooms they could only have 2 rooms at a time. One was being built while the other one was being filmed in. And they were 4 hours in each one. Like that had to be crazy. Like building this shit up and then tearing it all down and rebuilding something new.
You knew I was going to call you out in the paper bag puppets. You knew. You knew.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I don't hate puppets. It's just I don't. The Muppets. I don't understand the
Muppet conversation.
The Muppets don't make sense to me. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
That's a separate podcast. That's a separate podcast.
I had a really great experience with this movie. I gave this a 10. And I think this is a horror movie. I think this is a different look at how to do one, you know, because you're getting all the essential things you would from any other horror movie. It's just done with yarn and blood, and there's, you know, yarn's blood and paper and all that shit. I highly recommend this. Jason?
Yeah, so adventure comedy is kind of where it's sitting. Silly storyline, but good. Like you kind of almost want to get into a childlike state of mind. I don't know. I would build forts out of pillows and blankets and maybe some cardboard boxes, but I don't know. It kind of took me back to those days. You got to kind of use your imagination with everything, but it's funny, smart, different, unique. It's entertaining. It has some legit good kills. That first kill where that thing slices her throat and then she just starts spraying, like, oh, I lost it. I was laughing over that. That was great. It really, if you again use your imagination, that's one of the best beheading scenes in any movie. Like that's up there with. That was a great beheading.
And whenever she becomes part of the maze later on or whatever, that's creepy as fuck.
Yeah, absolutely. And
high
so
five.
we kind of touched on the Minotaur actually being a guy. I wish they would have done the Minotaur all paper, but I guess that was part of the storyline with him going into the vagina or whatever the hell that thing was.
We know what it was.
The kills were good. I like how they portrayed their blood and their gore. It was different. It was fresh to see. Short run time. This one was easy to get through. Blew past like nothing. I wish it would have had more kills. Not saying that like it didn't have enough. It's just that they did them so well, and I enjoyed seeing them. I just wish they would have had more of them. I thought they were great the way they did their effects. Definitely worth your time. And this one's streaming on Shudder as well. 7 out of 10. John?
All right, yeah. So I've been aware of this one since it came out, but I never got around to seeing it. So this was one of those, all right, I finally get, forced to watch it. And I'm really glad I did. This was a really fun one. Like I didn't know what to expect. I was like, oh, this is a horror movie. I was like, okay, it starts out pretty light. It's probably going to get pretty dark. And then I saw the yarn and shit. And I was like, this is all right. I guess in genre, it's a horror movie, I guess.
Yeah, it's a stretch.
Barely. Yeah, it's a stretch. Like I would totally let Scarlett watch this. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like this, I wouldn't hold this back from kids. There's nothing naughty or they barely even, I mean, they swear a little bit, but
not more than me.
Yeah, right. Right. Like my daughter knows that. But I really liked how everything looked so good. I loved the forced perspective stuff, like the eyeball, the room with the coffee cups and the different sizes, and then they went and like did everything.
Oh yeah, that,
you know what I mean?
Stand in front of it.
Yeah, the
Right.
perspective shit. Yeah.
Yes, I really loved all of that. Love the entire cast. Gordon, where's my beard at?
Where's that beard at?
The beard is on my face. Like that their shits was so funny. And Urbaniak from the Venture Brothers, James Urbaniak, that's it. It was hard not to hear a mix of the Monarch and Rusty, because it was like, oh man, holy shit, that's him. I don't recall really seeing him outside of voice acting.
It's so weird where people know him from, because I know him from podcasts. I never watched Venture Brothers, but he's all over. Like he's all over different comedy podcasts, and he's also on Andy Daly's show Review. I don't know if you've ever seen that. Oh, it's a Comedy Central show, but yeah, he's all over the place, and so there's a lot of entry points on where you find James Urbaniak at.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, but he was really funny. I loved him and his crew. Like the give a direction out for the eventual documentary. Like just like, all right, he's like
that boom guy. The boom guy was so.
Oh,
good.
he was so good. That dude was funny. The dude, the cameraman was funny. Like everything, they were all funny. I really liked it a lot. I love the lunch bag cardboard puppet scenes. Like
gotta love those puppets.
That shit cracked me up so bad. Like just and they even got the one dude
sucked in the tube.
Oh man, they got Gordon's eyes like so perfect. I was like, that's totally his puppet, like for sure. He was so. I really liked that a lot. I kind of thought that maybe when they, get out of the maze, like everything maybe didn't happen Labyrinth style, you know what I mean? I thought maybe that would happen, but that did not happen. Those people people died. Like holy shit, but where were their bodies? The Minotaur got out. Where were their bodies? They should have been in that pile. That would have been really messed up. Just a pile of bodies in the living room after all that's done.
That would have pushed it up into a different rating, I think, maybe. That's a very dark ending.
Yeah, right? Oh my god. Well, he does like just leave him with, you got to call the next of kin. He's like, yeah, totally. What?
That was my favorite line. I laughed so hard.
Yeah, totally.
Don't forget, you got to call the next of kin of all the people who died here today.
Yeah, you got it. Wait, what? Yeah, that was some funny shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really, really enjoyed this one. This was a fun flick. Dude, that creepy doll. I love that. High five.
Oh, yeah.
High five.
Bryn?
Hey! High five!
No, don't.
Dave, did you build a cardboard Bryn? Hey, high five! Hey, Bryn.
Thought you were dead.
No way. I'm fine. Where are we headed? What are we up to? Come over here and talk to me. High five!
Nowhere. We're just enjoying the maze.
Oh, yeah, you're telling me. Come over here and talk to me.
We're cool.
Yeah, we are. High five.
It's what people
I
do.
love
High five.
Yeah. It's like I loved all of that. That was I know.
Come here.
It was creepy.
Oh,
and
no,
awesome.
come here. Give me a high five.
Yeah.
Come here.
A high five will make me remember. High five.
What's he say?
She was so
What's
funny.
he say? He's like, "Hey, do you want a high five?" Yeah, hey, high five.
Yeah. But
Oh my
I
God.
gave this one a 9. This was a real fun surprise. It was good. I'm glad I was finally forced to watch it. It's always been on my radar, but I always end up watching the same shit.
Yep. Same.
So good job, and definitely a good double feature.
Mhm.
It was 2 weird fantasy movies.
Yeah, dismal to a little funny. That's great.
Yeah. It's a palate cleanser for sure after Mad God.
Mhm.
Ray, where you at?
Ooh.
Well, yeah, Jason, thank you for this. I had never even heard of this movie, man. I watched the preview after you said this is what we were gonna watch, and man, I was like, is this a horror movie? But yeah, it is, and it's so everybody touched on the special effects, but it's so gory in its own way. It's amazing though. It's beautiful. It's really cool. And I don't think I'd laughed this hard in a while too. So from like the minute she gets in her house, you did this all day, you know?
Yeah, I love that too, because I assumed like we were gonna have to watch this guy build something. It's gonna take forever. Really, it jumps right in. She opens the door and he's already
in
stuck
there.
in the maze.
Yeah.
That was
come out. I don't
good.
like talking to you in there. I wish I could. But
Totally.
yes. So it had a lot of really funny one-liners too. Where's that beard? You know, we've already talked about it. Like I said, I really thought the special effects, the paper mache use, I'd never seen anything like that before. The story was inventive and engaging. Every single character made me believe they were in this maze. It was so crazy to feel like Jason said, like this childlike wonder, like, oh man, here's what I would have done. It felt like I was a kid watching it, you know. Well crafted, original idea, very original idea. Great acting, like I said, and all the characters were compelling. I felt bad when some of them went down, you know. I'm like, oh, you know, like that sucks.
A lost comrade.
Yeah, exactly. So I had a great time watching this. I was unfortunately by myself, but I had a great time. I laughed through the whole thing. I would recommend this to everybody. I have been at my work telling people you should check this out if you've never heard of it. So I gave it a 9 out of 10 too. I think everybody should like Mad God. This should be on your radar. You should watch it at least once. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dave.
He hates it.
No, I don't.
He's still mad.
I'm not mad.
I just like to get you to say it.
I'm not mad. I'm not
Are you a mad
mad.
god?
You know what?
Are you a mad god?
You know what? I wish that Phil Tippett made a movie called Mad Dog, where he went through the 7 depths of hell through a dumpster, where he left his kids and his family and just drank malt liquor all day.
There we go.
And it's called Mad Dog.
He's drinking mad. He's drinking that.
Yeah.
That purple
The story
shit.
of Mad
The
Dog.
Purple
grape
train.
bait.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
grape,
that would have
grape
been so much better. Right?
bait.
Well,
All right, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, I liked it because you know, everyone as children likes to make a fort. It's a standard, like, universal thing that, like, you know, but it's so funny for adults to like make this massive fort, and that becomes the maze. I felt like it was more like especially when it started, I felt like it was more like an Apatow production, where there were like certain characters that were like playing off each other to do this thing. Like, it definitely could have been funnier for sure, but like once they got in, the production design on everything is fantastic. Everything, like every shot just seems so intricate in the way that they like the way they built the cardboard. Like I'm specifically talking about like production design and art direction, but like it looks so cool once you were in there. It looked great. And the cards aligned, and it's it looked cool. It looked cool. The movie looked great, especially with the budget that they had. And the documentary team was a really good addition. That was cool. They, you know, at least they all fed off each other. It was very like self-referential too, where they were like, we need a montage, and then they did a montage. You know, it wasn't trying to be too serious about itself. It seems surreal. My favorite line though is, at least he's not sucking a big veiny dick for Kickstarter money. And then one of them says, that's not how Kickstarter works. That fucking killed me.
Yeah.
That killed me. Like absolutely killed me. They had that scene that was like almost like the trash compactor in Star Wars, where like the door was open and they like saw the trash and had to deal with the trash. So they knew what they were doing. Like it was silly, it was supposed to be fun, but it was also like, I don't know, it was a good time. It was a really good time. The forced perspective stuff that they did, I know there was that tea room they had where that again, a great way to make things look a little wonky, just a little off. And again, the puppets. I don't think I need to say any more about the puppets. Yeah, it with the resources that they had, and like the kind of like weird cardboard tubes, and like the vast, like that production design on that movie was fantastic. And you can tell it wasn't cheap, even though it didn't cost much to do. I loved it. And it was almost like these, like, obviously working actors like, hey, let's make a movie, even though I'm sure they're established. But like, hey, you know, we have this amount of movie or this amount of money. We probably, you know, sold this to someone, and then they gave us X amount of money, and they fucking used it. And that was like really fantastic what they did. The Minotaur was fantastic. Like, it was just a really good through and through narrative. I liked it. I dig it. And I don't know who was the dude that looked like Adam Scott on Adderall.
His
Like,
name
just,
was the best friend guy.
Yeah, he looked like cracked out Adam Scott.
His name's Adam Bush.
Oh, okay. All right, that makes sense. Yeah, that tracks. Yeah.
So what'd you rate it, Dave?
Yeah. I'll give it an 8. Yeah, I had a good time with it.